Welcome to this overview of the NHPCO's Measures of Excellence Interactive Data Dashboard. This video will display content from aggregated Measures of Excellence data. Your screen will look slightly different depending on the amount of data your organization has submitted. Members who implement the MOE survey receive access to the National MOE Dashboard, which provides benchmarking data on key quality measures which are often difficult or simply not possible to find elsewhere. This allows organizations to compare their performance measures against a national data set. The dashboard is the tool that facilitates this by presenting organizational data and comparing it to MOE participants to provide insight into how your organization is performing in these areas. First, let's look at the layout of the screen. At the top left, you will see the name of the MOE section or page you are viewing. There are 13 pages, and you can use this menu on the left side of your screen to jump back and forth between them as desired. These pages are Program Demographics, Financial Information, Volunteer and Bereavement Services, Staffing, Patients Data, Patient Infections, Medication Errors, Patient Falls, Inpatient and Residential Facilities 1 and 2, as well as a new page displaying rates for falls, medication errors, and infections. You can unpin this list of pages to allow a greater viewing of the data area. To do this, simply unpin from here. As you can see, this has allowed more data to be visible. Very helpful for situations where you may be using smaller monitors or where screen space is limited. In order to bring the viewing of the page list back, select the page you are currently on and pin the list back to the page. For purposes of this demonstration, we will leave this list pinned. As you navigate through the areas of the Measures of Excellence, you will notice that the data may take a moment or two to load. We ask that you be patient and let the system display the data before trying to move on to the next section. You will also notice a slight change. Following the Program Demographics page, every other page of the Measures of Excellence is displayed in two columns. On the left will be your organization's data, and on the right will be data based on the filter chosen at the top by the user. In this instance, we can see a filter has already been applied on this page. In this instance, we are looking at organizational data, yours on the left, versus the national data set, filtered, on the right. We are looking at data for the year 2023 as reported from the state of Florida. Once again, please keep in mind that for purposes of this demonstration, you are viewing aggregated data. Your display will look different depending on the quarters that you have reported for. In other words, you may not have comparable data for every quarter on this side of the screen. This is why we encourage you to participate every quarter. This allows for a more complete and rolling data sample set. To show you how the filters work, we will start by removing these. In order to do so, we will hit Reset to Default. This will remove all the filters, and once the page refreshes, you will see that the data based on the filter now shows everything available across all of the Measures of Excellence data repository. This is because no filters are currently being applied. We can also use this opportunity to examine one of the more unique features of the dashboard. If you highlight any specific data point, you can see a further breakout of the data. This is very useful in any scenario where you may be screen sharing or presenting your Measures of Excellence data. Now, let's briefly take a look at another icon. On the far right hand of the screen, at the very top, you will see your download button. This button is where you can download your Measures of Excellence data in a report format for offline viewing or sharing. When we take a look at the export options, we can set the parameters of the document to our preferences. We can also add or remove viewable content depending on how much we want to include in this downloaded report. We can even hide all widget content. Widget content in this context refers to data callouts. available on specific charts and graphs. If we find an example here, we can show you what this looks like in action. For example, removing widget content from this display will result in these numbers being removed from the download. We generally do not recommend you remove any widget content, as these visualizations have been carefully designed to present all of the relevant data in a clear and concise manner. However, this can be a useful option where data simplification is preferred, for example, when preparing an executive summary. As we move through these pages, we can see every single data point that you've spent time collecting and reporting displayed here in an aggregated and a side-by-side display format for comparison and benchmarking. You will see this for every question answered on the measures of excellence in every area. Once again, as you go through the data, you can highlight individual data points for the callouts. We can see that data callouts are available on all visualizations available on the dashboard, not just on graphs. For example, to see a further breakdown of this 29.93%, we can highlight this and show the specific count of respondents that fall into this category. Introduced at the end of 2023 is a new page for the measures of excellence. This is a rates page for patient safety data consisting of falls, medication errors, and infections. The falls, medication errors, and infections page of the measures of excellence dashboard presents patient safety data from 3 metrics in 2 tables. The first table reports accumulated data from 2021 through the current date. The second table will display the patient fall rate for each year. The tables also provide a calculation for the per 1,000 patient days standardization, which is a measure of the frequency of an event. This calculation is recommended by the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality, a component of the Department of Health and Human Services. This is calculated by first obtaining the standard rate and then multiplying it by 1,000. For example, a standard rate of 0.05 translates to an incident rate of 50 per 1,000 patients. You can see incident rates for each of the patient safety measures captured on the measures of excellence. As you work within the dashboard, we do want to remind you that help is always available. If you find that you need assistance with navigating the dashboard or with any specific data points or metrics, NHPCO staff is always happy to assist. Please reach out if you ever need assistance using your measures of excellence dashboard. Thank you.